de boxeo. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this side of heaven. God bless you all. God bless you all. Yeah, let's go. Boxing talk. Boxing talk. Boxing talk. Boxing talk. Ladies and gentlemen. All right. Potential fights in the sport of boxing. Still a lot of fights that we want to see. A lot of furniture moving. The 147-pound division is looking more lucrative than it's been in quite a while. A new makeover in the welterweight division, ladies and gentlemen. A new makeover in the welterweight division. Let me see people into it. Let me see. The welterweight division, one of the most lucrative division in the sport of boxing, historically got a makeover. We already know we got Ryan Garcia as a champion. We got Rolly Romero as a champion. We got Devin Haney as a champion. We got Teofimo Lopez, the two-time lineal champion, moving up to the 147-pound division. And good news. Richardson Hitchins, the IBF 140-pound champion, moving up to the 147 and vacating his world title. It is looking more lucrative. Let me tell you like this also. I would like Gary Antoine Russell to move to the 147-pound division. I would like Gary Antoine Russell to move to the 147-pound division. Yep. That's what we need in the sport of boxing. But of course, we want to see who Devin Haney going to be fighting next. We want to see who Ryan Garcia been stating that it's probably going to be Conor Benn. It's probably going to be Shakur Stevenson. Probably going to be Teofimo Lopez. But a decision needs to be made probably by this week or next week. We understand that Turkey Al Sheikh, shout out to Turkey Al Sheikh, has done great things in the sport of boxing. But it looked like he took a step back. And by taking a step back, it looked like his money has took a step back as well. As we all know, we got Sufa. Shout out to Dana White. Shout out to the shows. Several shows already. They moving good. They signing people. We already seen the signing Edgar Berlanga, Richardson Hitchins, Conor Benn. Shout out to the pound-for-pound best manager in the sport of boxing, Keith Connolly, the manager of Alicia Baumgartner, the manager of Richardson Hitchins, the manager of Edgar Berlanga, the manager of Teofimo Lopez, the manager of Conor Benn, making major moves in the sport of boxing. Major move in the sport of boxing. But we seen 3 sign with Sufa. We want to know where Teofimo Lopez is going to be at. Where Teofimo Lopez is going. Is Teofimo Lopez going to be signing with Sufa as well? Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a news coming out soon. Is Teofimo Lopez going to be with Sufa? Or is Teofimo Lopez, you know what I was thinking about, ladies and gentlemen? Teofimo Lopez might not sign with Sufa. The reason why we ain't see Teofimo Lopez signing with Sufa right now, because if he signed with Sufa, then he can't get that Ryan Garcia fight. If Devin Haney signed with Sufa, he can't get that Ryan Garcia rematch. You feel me? E-man in the building. E-man con los 5 pesos de Super Chari Party K Punch. They want the Saudi prince out of his country. That Saudi money is dirty money. Hey, yo, E-man, keep it real. Since the beginning, where everybody is, oh my God, Turkey is the best thing. The second coming of Jesus Christ in the sport of boxing. And your boy Punch Run Boxing been pessimistic. Tell the people, because you've been following the channel for quite some time. What I've been saying about the Turkey Al Sheikh situation. What I've been saying. I say, everybody was saying, you got to understand that the PBC, they sinking, they overpaying these fighters, And I'm like, Turkey Al Sheikh is doing the same thing that Al Heyman is doing. If you don't like Al Heyman, if you don't like PBC, why you like Reha season and Turkey Al Sheikh? The business model. Thank you, Man on Fire. Thank you. I've been calling it out. You know how, Man on Fire, how many people was trying to call me Punch Run Boxing a hater? You a hater, Punch. Turkey is the best thing ever. From the beginning, we already saw the business model that Turki Al-Sheikh was not here primarily for the sport of boxing. He was just in the sport of boxing because he was trying to bring entertainment to Saudi Arabia. And they had a 5-year plan, 20 to 2030. But guess what? There's a world going on outside. Now, Turki, if he's in the sport of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, Turki is using his personal own money now. Ring is Turki. Reha season was the prince, royalty, and all of that. Ring is Turki. Sufa is Turki. Reha season is for the country, for every. You understand what I'm trying to say? So now Turki, he can't be spending his money like he was spending the prince's money. It's a whole different type of ball game now. You know what I'm saying? So now he's counting his money. Before he's splurging it like a baller in the strip club. You know what I'm saying? Making it rain. Over here, I'd have to count every dollar, mother. Oh my God. I've been paying these imbeciles all this time, and none of them have entertained me. I would not give nobody else's. I would not go to the boom boom room and give anybody money anymore. Turki, I shake now account. Hey, yo, Turki now looking at his account. What did I give? Oh my God. I gave Canelo Alvarez $100 million for the buttercup. I gave Chocolate Thunder 70. Oh my God, what the fuck did I do? What the hell? I gave $20 million for Ryan Garcia's face rolling. What the hell did I do? I gave Devin Haney $10 million to fight Jose Ramirez. They take advantage of me. I'm nobody's sugar daddy anymore. I am nobody's sugar daddy, motherfuckers. Turki smarting up right quick. Turki smarting up. I'm no longer nobody's sugar daddy, all right? Devin Haney probably was like, hey, yo, Turki, what's next? You know what I'm saying? We got the Jose Ramirez. You know what I'm saying? We got the Brian Norman Jr. What's next, Turki? Bill's like, yo, what's next? Go to PBC and go over there and negotiate with Al Heyman and with Rolly. Get the fuck out of my face, please. You're the one to take advantage. You don't knock out nobody. I cannot get up on my seat for no one. Yo, but it's true, bro. Turki Al-Sheikh gave what was it reported? Canelo Alvarez made $80 million a fight. William score. I gave this Canelo Alvarez $18 million American dollars to fight William Skull. Boring. And that's what I think. I think it's a combination of two, bro. Ed in the building. Hey, yo, if y'all not following me, go follow me on Facebook as well. YouTube, Kick, everywhere, bro. Can you imagine, yo? I feel sorry for the guy. Because I feel sorry for Turki Al-Sheikh, because Turki Al-Sheikh was out there, man, splurging in the sport of boxing. He was splurging. He was making it rain. But none of them, to be honest, which fight you thought made Turki Al-Sheikh excited? Let's be real, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be real, let's be honest, right? Whether you're a fan of a certain fighter or a particular fighter, Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Bud Crawford was not entertaining. Let's be real, let's be honest. Let's be real, let's be honest. It was not entertaining. Was it worth? It was not. I mean, and we didn't ask for that fight. That was Turki Al-Sheikh's fight. Well, nobody asked for that fight. Good accomplishment. Great historic victory with Terence Bud Crawford. But in terms of performance, we're going to be talking about performances, because at the end of the day, performances is what ignite the sport of boxing, sustain the eyeballs in the sport of boxing, captivate the imagination, the emotions of the boxing fans. It's not the accomplishments, it's the performances. It's the performances that captivate the imaginations and the emotions of the sports fans. The hardcores and the casuals. It's not the accomplishment. We've seen enough accomplishment in the sport of boxing. We seen Bivol become undisputed. We seen Beterbiev become undisputed. We seen Alexander Usyk beat Tyson Fury for undisputed. These are the matchups that we wanted to see. We seen Shakur Stevenson moving up to the fourth division January 31st, 2025, and beat Teofimo Lopez in a packed Madison Square Garden. Was that entertaining? No, it's not. Turkey Ashik said, I would go to Japan. I'd want the monster. I'd want to see the monster. First time Turkey Ashik put some money in on Naoya Inoue behind, and it wasn't entertaining as well. All right. I put Nakatani and Inoue. They both dropped the ball. Maybe even the money was too much pressure for the fighters. The only one that truly probably gave a highlight reel is a mismatch. A fight that really should never happen, but it did happen. Francis Ngannou and AJ. With all that money poured out, let's be real, let's be honest. With all that more money poured out, all that money that all these fighters made, which fight? Just think, folks, just think about that. It was your money and you put it out. And Turkey Ashik want to be entertained. I want to come to the sport of the boxing because this is my favorite sport, and I want to bring back the energy of the 80s. I want to bring back the days of the 40 Kings. Do I remember? Anybody could tell me any highlight of the Bivol and Beterbiev? If it's a fight that I wanted to see, it was a great fight. It's a great technical bout. If you're a hardcore boxing fan, you appreciate a Bivol and Beterbiev. Can you tell me a highlight though? Any highlight reels? What about Teo and Shakur Stevenson? Any highlight reels? I mean, look at the Times Square card. Look at the Times Square card. I mean, we got a knockdown by Rolly Romero, but after that, there was no highlight reel. Yeah, Teofimo Lopez beat Honor Barbosa. Yeah, Devin Haney won every round versus Jose Ramirez. Remember the whole week? The whole week? That whole weekend was probably one of the worst weekends in boxing of this generation. AJ Wilder losing. I think AJ was the one that probably owned. I mean, at least what he beat up Ottawa Lean. He beat up Francis Ngannou. We've been wanting to fight for almost. We wanted to see the heavyweight undisputed bout for almost a quarter of a century. And yeah, we got Usyk and Tyson Fury. Yeah, and Usyk did stumble Tyson Fury, but did it sustain? Did it captivate the imagination, the emotions of the boxing fans? Was there any drama? So now we're going back to the traditional way of doing business. And now, just like a lot of people was making fun of PBC fighters, right? In this community, shout out to PBC. They're going to have David Benavidez and Sudo Ramirez. Shout out to Golden Boy Promotion as well. Now that it's going back to the traditional way of the sport of boxing, we got Devin Haney, who's a free agent, still got his promotional company, but has Devin Haney Promotions actually put up an event? Put their own money. Has Devin Haney Promotion done what Golden Boy Promotion has done? No. So they looking for a fight. All these guys in the position for a big fight. But one of these guys is going to be left out. Who's going to be left out? If Devin Haney doesn't secure, because look, put it this way. Devin Haney did not secure the negotiations. They didn't finalize the fight with Rolly Romero and PBC. You know who I trust that Devin Haney is going to get a big fight? The man that the guy that's been delivering since day one, Bill Haney. Bill Haney is going to make sure that Devin Haney is going to get a fight and he's in position. He's going to get every time people trying to count out Devin Haney. Oh, you didn't value this. Oh, you not signing who? Bill Haney saved the day. Bill Haney knows the ins and outs in the sport of boxing. He knows how to slither with the snakes and swim with the sharks. I trust Bill Haney that he's going to make a deal. I trust Keith Connolly. Look at the big deals. So I trust that even Teofimo Lopez is going to get a fight. And Ryan Garcia is probably arguably the cash cow of this generation right now. And guess who else is? Conor Benn. But people talking about Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn in August. But how is Ryan Garcia going to do business with Dana White and Sufa of Golden Boy Promotion and not doing business with them? So to be honest, as much as they've been going back and forth, Conor Ben and Ryan Garcia, unless the WBC, in which I don't believe is going to happen. Remember, the WBC is on Golden Boy Promotion side. They're not on Sufa TKO side. So is the WBC really going to mandate Ryan Garcia to face Conor Ben? Shout out to Joyce in the building. Lone Nose Boxing, one of the members. In the building. E-Man in the building. I don't believe they're going to do business. Teofimo Lopez didn't sign with his other contemporaries in the stable of Keith Connolly. Conor Ben, Sufa, Richardson Hitchins, Sufa, and Edgar Berlanga, Sufa. And talking about Richardson Hitchins, breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Richardson Hitchins, let me put it right here, ladies and gentlemen. Richardson Hitchins just tweeted this. Breaking news. It's 147. It's time. I will be 2 division world champion real soon. I've overcome 140. My days at the weight is done. Let's go. Richardson Hitchins moving up with Mace, the 147-pound, more lucrative. Yes. Keith Connolly. Breaking news. It was a tough decision for Hitchins, meaning it looks like Richardson Hitchins is vacating his world title. But I wish before he vacated his world title, he petitioned to be in place to fight Lewis Crocker, which I don't believe that's going to happen because Crocker is with Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing, and they're not going to do business with Dana White. So he had to vacate. He's not going to do anything with the IBF or the rankings at the moment, right? So it was a tough decision for Hitchins, but he's all outgrown the weight class. He's been fighting at 140 since he was 16 as an amateur. Hitchins is an elite fighter and will truly believe he'll be even better and stronger at welterweight, and that he will be fighting for a world title at 147 in the next 12 months. That means that his next fight is not going to be for the world title, but makes the 147-pound division even more interesting. Now, I believe the one that's probably going to have to give in is going to be Devin Haney. Because, again, if he wants Ryan Garcia, they're going to have to go through Golden Boy Promotions. Ryan Garcia is going to be the A side. It is what it is. Or they're going to deal with it. Remember, DHP, Bill Haney, Devin Haney sued Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar De La Hoya. And the reason why they took the lawsuit out the table is because Turkey Al-Sheikh came to save the day. Well, it doesn't seem like Turkey Al-Sheikh is ready to save the day. Turkey Al-Sheikh got his own issues, bigger issues to handle. When I spoke to Keith Connolly right after the fight after the fight, I spoke to Keith Connolly. Shout out to Keith Connolly. And I asked him, what you think it could be next for Teofimo Lopez? What's the fight? What's the next possible fight? He said, well, it's up to Teo. Basically said, Teo could move up to the 147-pound division, get a tune up at 147, and then move into a big fight. Or we could go straight into a big fight. The winner of Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez was going to be fighting Ryan Garcia. Of course, if he beat Mario Barrios, in which he did, it became the WBC welterweight champion. We've seen Ryan Garcia said that his next fight was going to be Teofimo Lopez July 25th. That makes sense. It's making sense because we didn't see Teofimo Lopez sign with Sufa, because if he would have signed with Sufa, then he would have never got the fight with Ryan Garcia, because Golden Boy Promotion was not going to do business with Dana White. This is the reason why people been saying, yo, but Teo was not with, you know what I'm saying, with Sufa, and everybody else won the Sufa that Keith Connolly manages outside of Alicia Baumgartner, that was ESPN and MVP, and she's in great standings, right? She's in a great place. So I could see that might be the next fight. Devin Haney already didn't finalize the deal with PBC with Rolly Romero. So, okay. So what's going to happen? If Teofimo Lopez doesn't fight Ryan Garcia, Sufa easily could make a Teofimo Lopez versus Richardson Hitchins. Because if Teo can't make the fight with Ryan Garcia, he might have to sign with Sufa and make a big fight with Richardson Hitchins in Brooklyn, New York. Or maybe they could still do business with Turkey Al Sheikh and do a one-off with Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. I think that could be possible as well, because when I spoke to Keith Connolly, he also said, what would be the easiest fight to make for Teo? I said, what would be first? He said that the winner of Shakur Stevens and Teofimo Lopez could fight Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia could be a possible fight. Even Ryan Garcia have acknowledged that, and Teofimo Lopez have acknowledged that as well. But also Keith Connolly said, what would be the easiest fight to make? He said the Devin Haney fight. He's in good standings with Bill Haney. It's easy. He said the dealing with Bill Haney will be easy. He said the easiest fight to make for Teofimo Lopez is the Devin Haney fight. But he said that right after the fight with Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Because they don't have to go through a bunch of, hula hoops to get that fight. But that was when probably still Turkey was in the mix. That was before the war, right? Now it's different. But Turkey Al Sheikh have acknowledged what the Turkey Al Sheikh said when I believe he was answering a reporter or a media or a tweet that says that Turkey Al Sheikh is outside of the sport of boxing, 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I'm paraphrasing. And he said that he has a huge fight for Ryan Garcia. Now, of course, Turkey Al Sheikh should have made the Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. That fight could have took place. I think that fight could take place if Turkey is in the mix. But if Turkey is not in the mix, are they gonna? If Devin Haney and Bill Haney gonna work directly with Golden Boy Promotions? I doubt that. I think the only way that they're gonna fight Ryan Garcia if Turkey Al Sheikh is in the mix. Somebody gonna have to swallow their pride to get that fight. The only name that he did mention that he's gonna be working with, that he got a big fight, Turkey Al Sheikh, was Ryan Garcia. Let me see if I can find the tweet where Turkey Al Sheikh acknowledged that. Hold on, give me a second. Let's see if we can see the tweet. Smash that like. Seems that a lot of people don't want to talk about the boxing. Let me see. Give me a second. Let's see Turkey Al Sheikh. Let me see. Damn, Turkey. Let me see. Yo, Turkey barely posts about boxing anymore, man. Turkey barely posts. The only thing he's been posting is the Usyk. I'm not even so much interested in the Usyk situation. But anyway, he did say something about the Turkey Ryan Garcia. We fight TV in the building. Let me see the people who's tuning in. We ain't gonna mess up the algorithm. The algorithm don't want to talk about this situation, and we ain't wasting our time. No. Let me see where the algorithm is at. Let me see. Let's see where we at, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see where the support is at. We got 33 looking on YouTube. All right, 33. How many likes we got? We're going to change the subject right quick if we don't get the support on this subject. 5 minutes, we changing the subject. We got 12 likes, 33. That means people don't like this subject. We ain't going to waste our time. We're going to stay 5 more minutes in the subject, and we moving on. 5 more minutes in this subject and we moving on. Wrong. Said Teo is still a pro. He's in there seeing whether things are actually working for him. How are you gonna need someone to tell you that you get in his left and right and you won't put your hands up? Wrong in the building. What's good, man? Well, I think they all got some type of choices, right? But we want to see a big fight. I said leading up to 2026 is name versus names. I'm not going to hype up any other fight that doesn't have the name versus name. You cannot tell me that all these guys is available. I'm no longer going to support when we have available names to fight names. It's just like I was saying about the 154-pound division. If I say, if Vergil Ortiz and Boots can't happen, so what? Boots will fight Xander Zayas, or Vergil Ortiz fight Xander Zayas, or Vergil Ortiz fight Earl Spence or Charlo or something like that. We got Boots versus Xander Zayas. We ain't get Boots versus Vergil. I'm okay with it. That's the way it's supposed to be. I'm no longer going to support these. Look, Richardson Hitchins is available. Teo is available. Ryan is available. Devin is available, and Rolly is available in at 147. I'm not going to support no other. I'm going to bash it. I'm letting y'all know right now. Any fighter, any team, I am going to bash any fight that it doesn't have the name versus the name. You give me, and just like we're going to keep the same energy in 154, we're going to keep the same energy in 147. Teo got to be facing Rolly, Teo, Ryan, Teo, Hitchins, Teo, Devin, Ryan rematch, Devin, Hitchins. Oh, guess what? We got they already announced Keyshawn Davis, so he lucky. He got Keyshawn Davis, got Arbridge, right? But as soon as that finish, he's in the mix. Okay, the 147-pound division is lit. And if I was Shakur Stevenson, I will move up to the 147-pound division as well, because it's not like you're fighting pure welterweights. Shakur Stevenson, you did your thing in 140. You beat the king. Ain't nobody out there. I don't want to see. Put it this way. Okay, the Murataya fight is good. It's a good fight. But you just beat Teo. It doesn't make sense for you to beat the guy at 140, the king, the former king at 140, and then you move back down. No, you regressing. No, keep on daring to be great. You're already a 4-division world champion. Keep on daring to be great. Because I believe that Shakur Stevenson, even if he enters the 147-pound division right now, I will put him as number 1. I would put Shakur Stevenson entering the 147-pound division right now. I would. He's the guy to beat. He's already the guy to beat in this era. He's already the guy to beat at this era. After 140, after 135. Now, I don't give a damn how everybody feels about Gervonta Tank Davis. When Gervonta Tank Davis feel like he's active and ready to go, then he's back in the mix. Yeah, he's back in the mix. Shout out to Gervonta Tank Davis. I can't wait till he enters this table. I know some people, you don't care about you don't care to dare to be great. He don't care, blah, blah. There's always, I'm gonna tell you, it is what it is, whether people like it or not. There's always gonna be a cloud. If Gervonta Tank Davis stays undefeated, and these other guys is fighting each other, which is good, and they could be accomplishing and daring to be great, there is still going to be that cloud. Well, I ain't beat Gervonta Tank Davis. If Gervonta Tank Davis fight Pitbull Cruz and stop Pitbull Cruz, yeah, I still want to see the rematch with him and Lamar Roach. But even with the Lamar Roach performances, if you ask me what you want to see, the rematch of Lamar Roach versus Gervonta Tank Davis, or do you want to see Tank versus Shakur? Tank versus Shakur is still going to be the most watched fight. And this is not only because he beat Teo, Shakur. It's how he beat Teo. Forget about that. He just beat Teo, because I have Teo winning, right? I thought that Teo was going to win. But I also said when the smoke clears, it was going to be Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. If anyone had the goods and the boxing ability and the technique and the IQ to beat Teo, it would be Shakur. But I had Teo to be Shakur. Shakur not only beat Teo, Shakur won every round. He looked like he was just levels. I don't even know why Shakur Stevenson is even caring about saying rehydration clause or catch weights. All these guys came from the small divisions. I will understand if Shakur Stevenson, look, I will understand if Shakur Stevenson was beating, let's say if Shakur Stevenson, when he beat Teo, but yet with the welterweight division still has the Earl Spence and the Bud Crawford and the Keith Thurman when he's in his prime, and the Danny and the Porter. I'm like, nah. Shakur, I don't think that Shakur, as much skills that he got, those was pure welterweight. Those was pure welterweights. Like they came in the professional, well, not Bud Crawford, but Crawford was, you could see that he was draining himself. But Earl Spence came into the game as a welterweight. But Porter came into the game as a super middleweight. Remember, he was fighting at what, 160, 165, 168, 165 in the amateurs as well. Who else? Danny Garcia came from lower division, but he really made his run at 140, and he had enough fights at 147. Keith Thurman is a pure welterweight. So it's a difference between this 147-pound division where you got Hitchins, who just moved up from 140, Teo moving up from 135, who you could see that, damn, Teo and Shakur look like the same height. You could say in fight night, even Teo looked at a slight lighter and smaller. Teo is a small 140. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney came from the 135. Ryan Garcia came from 120. Ryan Garcia came from 130. You know what I'm saying? So I think that Shakur Stevenson should take that risk, and who cares? I think that he'll do good at 147. I think he'll do good at 147. Keyshawn Davis just moved up to 147. So all these guys, how many fights did these guys got at 147? Teo hasn't had one. Hitchens haven't had one. Ryan Garcia got one. Devin Haney got one. Let's not forget that the Jose Ramirez was a catchweight at what, 144, 143. So his first time at 147 was just Brian Norman Jr. So that was one. I think it'll make, I think Shakur just move to 147. I think that Gary Antoine Russell should move to 147. And then have a 147-pound tournament, has a 154-pound tournament. After Tank Teo's the smallest in size. Yeah, he is. Pause from the big names. Yeah, he is. Wrong. You're absolutely right. But who's going to be left out? Who's going to be left out? Maybe none of these guys are going to be left out. But I think that now these guys going to have to deal in a traditional way. If you could present a fight, and look, I'm going to tell you like this. Once these guys are quiet, that means something is shaking. They lock in deals. I'm going to tell you the truth in the sport of boxing. When they out here in the social media talking, and 80% of the time ain't nothing moving. But when they quiet, has Bill Haney been quiet for the most part? He's locking the deal. Teo been quiet for the most part? He's locking the deal. Ryan Garcia has quieted down. They're locking the deal. We know that the Richardson Hitchins pulling out from the Oscar Duarte, it was strategic. It does happen in the sport of boxing. I wasn't even mad at it. I wasn't mad at it because we seen the same thing happen when Keith Thurman was supposed to fight Maidana, and Maidana pulled out to get the Adrian Broner fight, which was a bigger fight. And I think aftermath, nobody cared. Did anyone care? I don't think that people truly care about the politics of the sport of boxing. They like to pick and choose. Nobody cared when Maidana pulled out of the Keith Thurman fight and got the Adrian Broner fight. Then he beat Adrian Broner, in which, you know what I'm saying, humbled Adrian Broner. To this day, I think he never bounced back from that loss. And then Maidana fought Mayweather. Nobody was mad at Maidana not fighting the guy that was mandatory in Q from Tom Thurman. Maidana fought Mayweather. Nobody cared about Q from Tom Thurman when Maidana fought Mayweather again. And then they elevated Floyd Mayweather as a super welterweight, right? As a super champion in the WBA. And then Floyd Mayweather didn't want to fight Q from Tom Thurman. He got the biggest fight that we all wanted to see, Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. So in the politics of the sport of boxing, nobody really truly cared about remember, the super WBA is almost equivalent to the WBC franchise, right? Almost the same thing. The only thing that is not recognized by the other belt federation, but it works the same way. It works the same way. Nobody cared. The whole world wanted to see Manny Pacquiao versus Floyd Mayweather. We didn't care about the politics of the sport of boxing. We didn't care when somebody pulled down. The domino effects, we didn't care about the domino effects. We supported the domino effects. So I understood the Richardson Hitchins situation. Imagine he would have lost to Oscar Duarte. And I, to be honest, I felt, looking at Richardson Hitchins, he looked at drained. He looked at highly drained. And my prediction to that fight was going to be an upset. And I think that's what they probably thought. Now, he ain't going to that ring 100%. And he's in position to I think that was a business, a strategic and a smart business move. We could look at it as scared or all that stuff, but it was a smart business move. To lock in the deal with SUFA, insurance, it's a smart business deal. You know what I'm saying? I think they can make fights. And now, now you could say that SUFA has some power at 147 because now they got two fighters. Conor Benn, who is the cash. I think right now, 147, the biggest cash cows right now is Conor Benn and Ryan Garcia. They're the one that's going to be calling the shots right now. To be honest, Ryan Garcia, they got Golden Boy got him. SUFA got Conor Benn. Conor Benn, if he fights out there in the UK, he could get he could lock in a stadium. If you get a Ryan Garcia in the UK, if he gets a Teofimo Lopez, now put it this way: if Conor Benn cannot get Ryan Garcia, Keith Connolly could put Teofimo Lopez versus Conor Benn in the UK. That's going to do a stadium. That's going to do a stadium. Yeah, it ain't going to do a stadium. Let me tell you like this, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to lock in. It's going to sell out the O2 Arena. It's going to sell out. Conor Benn versus Teofimo Lopez is going to sell out the O2 Arena. So I think that Teo got some big fights. Either don't sign with SUFA, get the Ryan Garcia fight. Either don't fight with SUFA, pitch. Keith Connolly could pitch the the Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez, and maybe they could fight in a ring or in a turkey card, in a ring card, or go fight Conor Benn, or go fight Richardson Hitchins. If I was Teofimo Lopez. Now let's put everybody in a situation right now. What would be the smartest move for all these guys? For Teo, in my opinion, the smartest move, if he signs with Ryan, now he got to beat Ryan. Then Teo's back, top dog. He's back top dog. He's back top dog, right? If he beats Devin, if he fights Devin, but let's just give one big move. Security will be to be with SUFA because now you got multiple. If a fight with Conor Benn doesn't happen, then a fight with Richardson Hitchins in New York will happen, and they could talk ish. The biggest, safest fight, in my opinion, that I think that it will be big enough, lucrative enough, and stylistically wise, is Teo fighting Conor Benn. Teo going to the UK, fighting Conor Benn. Conor Benn with his skills, with his style, I think fits Teofimo Lopez style. I think it fits Teofimo Lopez style. I think to this point, now, I think at this point, I don't think the Richardson Hitchins, and before I'll say like, yo, Teo will be Richardson Hitchins, I just don't think that Teo likes to fight in that. He don't like to fight those type of styles. I just don't. It doesn't look like he's interested. Teo doesn't look interested in fighting those styles. You know what I'm saying? You can see frustrations in fighting those styles. He's not having fun. I think with a Conor Benn style, Conor Benn is going to bring something to the table that's going to make Teofimo Lopez as a counter puncher. He's gonna feel I think he's gonna show all his repertoire with a Conor Benn style. What's good? Caesar, dímelo, Cesar in the building. Right? So, and it's an easy fight to be made. You and Sufa, right? Paramount. You go and get paid good. It's an easy fight to be made because you got the same manager. Will Conor Benn take that fight? See, now I don't think that Conor Benn take that fight because then Conor Benn, what do I gain at this moment to fight Teo? But we could say the same thing. What do you gain by fighting Prograis? Well, $15 million. Does Conor Benn fight Teo? If he loses to Teo, then what happens to the stock of Conor Benn? I mean, the loss that he got with Chris Eubank Jr. is still all right because he got that old. Well, he didn't get the old back, but he got that revenge back, and that was at 160. So he was still going up. Conor Benn never mentioned truly the fight of Teo. Conor Benn would rather probably fight Ryan, the bigger fight. If I lose to Ryan, at least Conor Benn is going for the belt and going for the bigger name. Caesar, good looking now, good looking now. No. For Devin Haney, what will be the smart move? For Devin Haney, I think that a Devin Haney and a Ryan Garcia fight. I mean, Golden Boy Promotions is still going to be working with. I mean, Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya been throwing a lot of shades to Turkey Al-Sheikh. But Turkey Al-Sheikh says he's still working with Ryan. Wrong with the $5 super chat. Good looking out. Conor is a big fight and very real fight. Teo still needs change in his approach, his styles like Shakur. He's young and in his prime. Yeah. But I don't think, but to be honest, if we talk, look, I'm going to say this, wrong and good looking out. I appreciate you. Out of all of them, the one that can't afford to lose again at the moment, like, you could lose, but not like too close. I think it's Teofimo Lopez. I think at this moment, Teofimo Lopez cannot afford to lose one more time. I mean, he could lose later on. Like, everybody gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their L. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Devin Haney got his old back, but he can't erase what truly happened. You know, box records say whatever they want, but we've seen already vulnerability from everybody. Nobody is Superman. I don't think right now Teo can lose. I think it will hurt Teo more than anything else. The reason why I don't think that would hurt Conor Benn to lose right now is because the different culture of the boxing fans. A loss to Conor Benn is not the same to a loss of Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney and thing. I think Ryan Garcia have lost twice. Has it hurt Ryan Garcia like that much? No. It hasn't hurt because he got a large fan base and a large following from boxing and outside of the sport of boxing, in which these other guys really don't have. You know what I'm saying? I think the one that truly cannot afford to lose will be more like a Teo and a Devin. Devin is the one with the less security because he's not signed to a promotional deal. Yet, Devin has made one of the smartest moves of this generation without having the other promotional deal. You know, they've been moving perfect business-wise. Business-wise, they're nearly perfect. After the little fumble that they had leading up to the Ryan Garcia fight, right? But outside of that, perfect. You think Teo can beat Haney today after Shakur? I think that Teofimo Lopez, if his mind is right, has the skills to beat anybody. When it comes to style, to be honest, I don't even think it's about style. I think it's about the mindset. Where is Teofimo Lopez here? If Teofimo Lopez here is right, he'll beat anybody. But now the question is, where's Teofimo Lopez here? That would be the question I would, because he's always in shape. He's always in the gym. He's always physically in shape. He did not drain himself for Shakur Stevenson. You know, I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know if moving to 147 is going to be the ideal. I don't know. He feel like his body is. His father feel like he's better going to be at 147. But did we see an incredible Teofimo Lopez at 140? At 140, we saw it with Josh Taylor, and we saw it with a little bit with Arnold Barboza, and Arnold Barboza winning his last fight. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty. But did it show up versus Shakur Stevenson moving up? A lot of people have been questioning the power of Teofimo Lopez. Now, he's never been a knockout artist like that. He does got power, but now there's fighters that's saying that they don't feel his power. There's fighters recently that's saying that his powers, Jermaine Ortiz saying that his power is not all that. Josh Taylor already said that his power was not all that. Shakur Stevenson in the locker room saying that his power was not all that. Who else? Most of the fighters that he already fought recently saying that his power is not all of that. So moving to 147, is it going to work? I don't know. Is it going to be different? I don't know. I don't even think it's going to be different because the same people that's moving up from where he's at, they're moving up too. They're being, for example, if Teofimo Lopez say, I'm moving to 147 because it's going to make me stronger and I'm going to be more comfortable and stuff like that. Guess what Richardson Hitchins just said? The same thing. Guess what Devin Haney just said? The same thing. Guess what Ryan Garcia? So it's not changing anything. Everybody's going to be faster, stronger, and more healthier. They're not going to be cutting as much weight. So everybody's still going to be in the same. Everybody feels better at 147. That's what they all saying. Everybody. So would it be different? I don't know. I hope he's not making the decision. I hope he's not making the decision because he doesn't feel like he's highly successful performance-wise at 140, that he feels maybe mentally, damn, I'll move to 147. I could be, I could fight the bigger guys and stuff. I think it's not going to change anything. I think it's here. Once Teofimo Lopez got this and happiness, I got Teo over everybody when he got this and happiness. If he's clear, doesn't have any baggage, doesn't put more weight on his shoulder. But we'll see. I feel like all these guys have shown vulnerability. We've seen how Conor Benn looked his last fight. A lot of people feel like Conor Benn would lose to Ryan Garcia and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Good looking now, man. Good looking now. All these guys, look, we don't know which Ryan Garcia going to show up. As much as we like to say, oh, the boxing world likes to say, well, we don't know which Teofimo Lopez is going to show up. Which Ryan Garcia going to show up? Ryan Garcia did look good versus Devin Haney, but then look how he looked versus Rolly Romero. And then he looked like an exceptional elite boxer with defense and offense versus Mario Barrios. But how many credit did Mario Barrios get? So we don't know which Ryan's going to show up. We don't know which Teo going to show up. We don't know which Devin going to show up. We're going to find the Devin Haney that fight Ryan Garcia. And we're going to see the Devin Haney that ran from Jose Ramirez, even though he won the big fight. Or we're going to see the guy the Devin Haney that stood in the middle of the ring and went for power, sit on his punches versus Brian Norman Jr. We don't know which one is going to see. And I don't believe, I'm one of the few people in the sport of boxing that believe that you're just as good as your last fight. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that you're just as good as your last fight, because we've seen a great performance follow up with a bad performance. A bad performance, it follows up with a good performance. I don't believe in that. If we're going to say that styles make fights, then this notion, and even the purest of all purists, fighters, trainers, most 90% of the boxing world, the geniuses always say you're just as good as your last fight. To me, it's not. To me, it's not. I'm one of the few that believe in that. They could call you a punt, but you're not a boxer. You ain't shit. You don't know shit. It doesn't. Me as a viewer, it doesn't. If I believe in that, if I believe, then I wouldn't believe that Devin Haney would have performed like that versus, well, me, I knew that Devin Haney was going to perform like that versus Brian Norman Jr., but a lot of people didn't believe in that because a lot of people were stuck in the Jose Ramirez. I said that Devin Haney was going to beat the crap out of Brian Norman Jr. I didn't care how he performed versus Jose Ramirez. I said he was going to beat the crap out of Brian Norman Jr. So if I believe in the you're just as good as your last fight, my assessment and my prediction wouldn't be what it was. If I believe, put it this way, I pick Canelo Alvarez to beat Terrence Bud Crawford. If I believe that you're just as good as your last fight because, yo, look how he did versus Madrimov. Yo, look how he did versus Madrimov. Guess what? Terrence Bud Crawford didn't look like he fought Madrimov. And guess what? Because Canelo Alvarez and Madrimov have different styles. So do you think that Teofimo Lopez that showed up versus Shakur Stevenson is going to be the same Teofimo Lopez versus a Conor Benga that got a whole different type of style than a Shakur Stevenson? No. So I think that we're going to see something different. Shit, if you would have asked me a long time ago, who would give Shakur Stevenson a run for his money, Teofimo Lopez or Edgar de los Santos? I would say, come on, man. If you would have said Edgar de los Santos, I would have been, you crazy. You smoking crack. Guess what? The guy that gave Shakur Stevenson the most problem was Edgar de los Santos. He gave him better work than T.O., better work than what's his name? Jamel Hearing. If I would have told you after, look, you're just as good as your last fight. What did Teofimo Lopez do right after the Vergil Lomachenko, beating Vergil Lomachenko that was regarded the pound for pound, 1, 2, 3, you can flip it around. What was the next fight? You're just as good as your last fight. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're a whole different type of fighter. Whole different type of situation. Whole different type of matchup. Look how Richardson Hitchins performed with Lima and then performed good right after. Rolly Romero was a world champion. Who thought that Rolly Romero was going to be Ryan Garcia? You're just as good as your last fight. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's one of the sayings that I 100% disagree. I don't care if I'm talking boxing with Customato, Emmanuel Stewart, Mike Tyson, the historians of boxing, and they tell me punch, but you don't know nothing. No, you're just as good as your last fight. I say, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. I go through a bunch of fights that tells me no, 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 no. Tyson Fury got dropped by Deontay Wilder twice. And then Tyson Fury in the second fight demolishes Deontay Wilder. And everybody thought that he was going to demolish him the same way, even worse. People were saying that Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder in the trilogy was not going to even last 3 rounds. But guess what? Deontay Wilder even dropped Tyson Fury 2 times. Deontay Wilder looked better in the third fight, even though that he got knocked out cold. He looked better in the third fight than he did in the first and the second fight. You're just as good as your last fight. Wrong. I think the Haneys will have to make a decision if Turkey Al-Sheikh is not in the mix. But the thing is, I trust Bill Haney's business savvy. Because, ladies and gentlemen, as much as I say that Keith Connolly is the best manager in the sport of boxing, the way that he's been managing all his fighters, I want to see if Bill Haney could do the same thing with other fighters. Because I think that Bill Haney could truly help other fighters. Keith Connolly and Bill Haney are 2 of the smartest managers in the sport of boxing. I would even put Rick Majorian up there, but I think that move of the Vergil Ortiz, in which, breaking news again, breaking news, Vergil Ortiz, Oscar De La Hoya Golden Boy Promotions going to a hearing. And this ain't even good news, man. I've been saying throughout my videos since day one, since the beginning of this drama. I said, Vergil, stand like a man. Push everybody aside. Call Oscar De La Hoya. He looked out for you in and out the ring. Hash this out because I don't think that this was Vergil's idea. Vergil Ortiz Jr. and Golden Boy Promotions are scheduled to begin the mediation process in Las Vegas on July the 14th. That's in July, folks. We still in April. We still in April. And this is just a hearing. This is just a hearing, bro. This is just a hearing, man. We don't know we're going to see Vergil Ortiz. This is bad because this is your prime. He just came out of a great first round, second round knockout by Erickson Lubin. You got momentum and then y'all pull this? Greed, man. Greed. With unbeaten junior middleweight seeking to this is a bad move, man. This is a bad move. I feel sorry. And I said this. Remember, I said that Hitchins may not like to be pressed until can make it tough. I said that Oscar De La Hoya is still going to be making his money because got Golden Boy Promotions, and Rick Majiri and his manager is still going to be making money. The only career that's put on hold will be Vergil Ortiz. Network still going to be putting on shows. Golden Boy Promotions still going to be putting on shows. Rick Majiri got other fighters to manage. He's still going to be making his money. Now look at Vergil Ortiz. What goes around comes around. That's why, and this is the reason why I don't even feel sorry for Eddie Hearn. And Eddie Hearn is one of my favorite promoters as well. But I don't feel sorry for Eddie Hearn because while Eddie Hearn was trying to offer Vergil Ortiz while he was still in a contract, and Eddie Hearn knows these informations because he's with the zone. Everybody with the zone. Everybody knows the situation, the contractual situation that Vergil Ortiz was in. Why are you trying to offer Vergil Ortiz? Stick your nose in somebody else's business that then Dana White stuck his nose into your business and snatched Conor Benn. Don't get mad, Eddie Hearn, because you was about to snatch a Vergil Ortiz sending offers of $16 million. And guess what? Dana White took your guy. That's why I don't feel sorry for Eddie Hearn. There's a lot of channels out there that say, oh, yo, it's effed up with Conor Benn. And then, no. You ain't see what Matchroom was trying to do with Vergil? That was messed up. That was some snakish-ish too, my brothers. That was some snakish-ish too. You're not supposed to be tampering with no other fighters still stuck in the promotion company. Am I right or wrong? I don't feel sorry. Should have been paying attention to your own business. Should have been paying attention to your own business. And that's not what that wasn't the first too. I've heard other situations where he tampered with the George Kambosa, Lou DiBella situation. This is why we won't see Devin versus Shakur. Maybe that's in the works. Look, I think that if they're gonna deal straight with Turkey, Devin Haney will have to seek for a potential Ryan Garcia or Shakur Stevenson. As a matter of fact, the guy that looked like is gonna be left out will be Shakur if he doesn't keep daring to be great. Think about it. Richardson Hitchins and his friends Keyshawn Davis moved to 147. Tio is at 147. Devin is at 147. And Ryan Garcia is at 147. Name me the names that has been linked to to Shakur Stevenson as of late. Outside of Gervonta Tank Davis is linked to secure the rematch with Pitbull Cruz. So what does Shakur Stevenson got? If he doesn't want to move up like everybody else, what does he have? Muretaya. That's it. Muretaya. I think that he should move up too. I think he should move up. And at this point, I don't think that even if Turkey is still going to be in the mix and pumping money, I think now he needs to pump fights that's going to have some residuals. Because a lot of his fights, it was just, let's be honest. Do you think a lot of his fights made money? I think maybe the Teo and the Shakur made money. The Bud Crawford Canelo probably made money, but how much he paid? I don't even think he made money. Did he make money? Maybe he made money, but I'm just saying he paid a lot. He paid a lot. He paid Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao type of money. You could have put that money into a Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez. Personally, let me ask you this question. Hold on. Low Nose Boxing. Personally. Good looking out. Those for showing love personally. Now I'm going to ask y'all personally a question. Low Nose Boxing, listen up. Wrong in the building, listen up. How y'all like this live? What we talking about? Low Nose Boxing, what we talking about today? Personal question on sidebar. We talking about just YouTube channels, YouTube. Now we're talking about what are we talking about today? What are we talking about today? Followers, subscribers. What are we talking about today? Teo would have nervous breakdown if he fights Devin in a Saudi ring. That's a bad move. Heck no. I like Conor. I don't think there's going to be any fights in Saudi like that either. What time out? Where is the Usyk versus this other guy? Where's it going to be at? It's going to be in Saudi? Let me see. I don't even know where that fight is going to be at. I'm not even interested in that fight like that. I haven't even. Let me see where that fight is going to be at. Let me see where this fight is going to be at. The Rico fight. The Cinderella. Giza. The Pyramids. Okay. The Pyramid! Bro, I like the boxing talk. My work gets in the way. Ron, good looking out with the $2 super chat. Who has more good looking out? Appreciate you, Ron. No, I love the boxing talk. I love the boxing talk. I love the technical boxing talk. I love it. It's why I came to the community for. It's the reason why I created the channel. He said Punch has a secret crush on Claressa. Hey, yo, let me tell you like this. Claressa Shields was the only girl in the world, man. I jerk off for the rest of my life. I won't touch a thing like that. No, eso da asco. To be honest, my thing wouldn't even get up. All I could do, my thing wouldn't even get up, my brother. That type of woman is son asco to me. Maybe those are the most unattractive females in the world to me. The most unattractive females. The mouth, the move, the way. Even when she like when she like trying to like when she's like even like around her voice. Oh yeah, it's to be as nasty. It's she grown into a woman that to me is like I won't touch it. Oh my, like yo, un aco. Hey, you un aco to me, bro. Aco. I stay celibate for the rest of my life. That's easy. That would be easy. Give an interview because you ask real questions. She don't want that interview. She don't want the interview. This is what it is. Claressa will go to platforms that they don't. I'm not gonna say don't know boxing, but they don't really know. They don't even really know Clarissa. They don't even know Clarissa like that. They talk about what's in the surface. I get it. Look, look, and shout out to all the boxing content creators. I'm not gonna bash the cigar talk. I know cigar talk is getting opportunities from Salida and the Zone. He's going to have to talk up Clarissa Shields. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna drill any questions. He's not gonna, like, you know what I'm saying? He's not gonna hawk her or anything like that. I know why he's picking Clarissa Shields' side and stuff like that, because Clarissa Shields' business partners are the one that's opening the doors and elevating his portfolio in the sport of boxing. So I'm not even looking for him to have this ask the real questions, ask, you know what I'm saying, really put it in the blender. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Two-Tone. Two-Tone did a good job, but even Two-Tone is more of a casual boxing. He's getting more deeper into the boxing, but he's more of an intelligent casual to the game. You understand? Because in that situation, easily I would have been like, this is what Clarissa Shields been dealing with. Y'all forget about Clarissa Shields. When was it? 7 years ago, out there in Detroit, when her brother snuffed the dude, the old man, the 72-year-old man, got hospitalized, fractured his face, that needed surgery, and they suspended the fight. Y'all forgot about that? And she said that she didn't know that was not part of her team, and she didn't know who it was, and she only be around girls and stuff like that. It was her own brother that did that. Shit, that was more than just a part of your team. And guess what? Guess what Punch Run Boxing did? Guess what Punch Run Boxing did? Guess what Punch Run Boxing? I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Well, everybody was calling her out. Oh, they should take her license away. Oh, I was calling her a queen. I was calling that wasn't her though. That wasn't her. That people shouldn't blame Clarissa Shields. And they was calling her a disgusting woman because of the way that she reacted after. This was how I learned. I learned. At this point, she's been the same way. She never changed. The more money she got, the more worse she got. Look at it. Look how she reacted to the old man. She didn't really care about the old man that got hospitalized by her brother. Just like she didn't give a damn about Shadeja Green getting put on a stretcher. The whole world of boxing that was watching that, whether you were a fan of women boxing or not, whether you were a fan of Shadeja Green or not, everybody that understands the sport was humbled by it, and prayers was going out for Shadeja Green. Guess what this woman did? Right away, live. She cut it live and said, oh, well, so what? I bet if it was me, you guys would have been talking down to me and stuff like that. So because of the critics and because of what you thought people would have reacted if it was you still throw her under the bus? Yeah, in the same live, you said that y'all hash things out, that y'all squash the beef. You ain't squashed nothing. You couldn't take the heat. And because probably Shadeja Green is a great, and still is not even personal with her. She like, yo, I used to be cool with this. She probably, I'm not saying this, she's probably cool. What used to be cool for the most part with Clarissa Shields, it was the kitchen got too hot. She probably was the one that hit up Clarissa, Shadeja Green and be like, yo, what's good? What's up? Like, why things are going left with us and stuff like that. We smooth things out with Shadeja Green, and we ain't hear Shadeja Green talk nothing about Clarissa Shields leading up to her fight. And I say this, don't smooth nothing out with that woman. That woman got an evil spirit. And I pray for that woman as well. Maybe unfortunate, maybe is what people are calling the ugly person or the ugly girl syndrome, which maybe she have trauma of people always calling her that she's unattractive and stuff like that. But I don't think that is. I think that the way that she talk and the way that she reacts and the way that, I think that's what makes her unattractive. That's what makes her unattractive. It's not the looks. is your inside, and then it comes out in the physical form. Not everybody got universal beauty. Female, male, not everybody got that universal beauty. When you go outside, everybody think that you're the most attractive person and stuff like that. Nah. But I think if she has a platform and she has the ear, especially she calls herself, what she says, I got the algorithm. You know what she could do with this algorithm? If she does have the algorithm in the sport of boxing and in sports as well, can you imagine how many lives she could change with this algorithm? You know that a lot of people don't get the opportunity that they stay relevant like this, and everybody talks about them. Why? Everybody that's talking about you is negative. You may think that, oh yeah, it's good because it could sell. It only sells. It could only sells if you keep winning. But if you lose, you're gonna be worse than Adrian Broner. Because at least Adrian Broner is funny sometimes, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? If Clarissa Shields lose, you're done. Really? Is Clarissa Shields the face of women boxing? No. Is Alicia Baumgartner the face of women boxing? Not yet. I think still the face of women boxing is a collab. Is a collab. It is the Amanda Serrano, the Katie Taylor with Clarissa Shields and Alicia Baumgartner. Right now, those are the faces. But the one that the machine is going to get behind right now, Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor doesn't need the machine because they're the ones, their rivalry is the one that put women boxing where it's at right now. The machine, they're on their way out. So the investment is not going to be. The only investment now they're going to make with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano is to put one of the young ones to fight one of them. It's going to put Alicia Baumgartner versus Amanda Serrano. If Amanda Serrano want to get paid, she's going to have to fight Alicia Baumgartner. Right? If Katie Taylor wants to get paid, I think she with her farewell out there in Ireland, she's going to sell over there. But I think that big, a mega paycheck, that $10 million, $7 million, $6, $7, $5, $8 million payday, ESPN, pay-per-view, or just ESPN and just sponsor it or whatever. Amanda Serrano and Alicia Baumgartner. I'm going to call Alicia Baumgartner right now, Mrs. ESPN. Because the machine, look, they even Sports Center. Go watch the sport on Twitter. Look, they've been talking about Alicia Baumgartner since her fight. The machine is already on Alicia Baumgartner. That's why Clarissa Shields have to talk about MVP fighters. Because Salida, the zone is not going to be marketing the Clarissa Shields. You know what I'm saying? And Papoose don't even promote. Win Records is not promoting Clarissa Shields even as a boxer. Right now, her clout is talking ish about Shadeja Green and Alicia Baumgartner and her relationship to a married man. That's what she's known for. Ain't nobody saying, yo, I want to go see the highlight of Clarissa Shields' last fight. And every other dude in social media, on the comment section or whatever, on IG, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want to call it, they can't even name the girls that Clarissa Shields beat. Yo, why you talking about Clarissa Shields? You don't give a damn about Clarissa Shields. Name me 3 opponents that Clarissa Shields beat. Outside of Franchon Crew-Dijon, because you're ready to fought like 4 times and stuff like that. The history. Name me when she became a world champion. Did you buy the pay-per-view of Clarissa Shields in the care? People don't know nothing about Clarissa Shields. All these frauds don't know nothing about Clarissa Shields saying, why you guys talking, man? She is the GOAT, yo. She is the GOAT. What made it the GOAT? How she became a 5 division world champion. Anybody in the chat right now? Anybody that want to be Captain Save of Clarissa Shields right now? Name me how she became right away. Put it in the chat right now. How she became a 5 division world champion? Let me know. Who she beat the light heavyweight? Let me know. I don't know nothing. people like to say, oh, you guys are just, oh, the algorithm, and you just got to talk about Clarissa Shields and stuff like that. But then y'all become the debunk army, and the debunk army has an algorithm as well. Y'all just trying to, y'all just going, there's people out there that just go against the grain, right? There's people out there that just go against the grain. Like, oh, y'all talk about Clarissa Shields. No, Clarissa Shields the GOAT because who's better than her? Who's better? You don't follow. I know this community very, very well. I know this community. Very, very well. I'm going on my 8th year, bro. We almost going on a decade in this community. So I know who is pro. I know who talks about women boxing. I know who's the fan. I know channels, and I could say, okay, this channel is pro this, is pro that, is unbiased. It gives this one the benefit of the doubt. We know each other. Everybody knows. Everybody knows the community. This community is very, very small. The YTPC is very, very small. We know who is who. We know who is who. It's like I said 1,000 times. It's only two. When I came into this, in the YTPC, there's only 2 people that was talking to women boxing, and that was Ring IQ and Punch Run Boxing. And I don't go so much in depth like a Ring IQ. Ring IQ is the most in depth women person that does content of women boxing. That's it. There was nobody out here talking about nothing. Every time I talk about women boxing, people in my comment section would say, stop talking about women boxing. But guess what, right? Guess what right now? You know why I'm happy at the moment right now? Because now when I'm talking about women boxing, it has it brings the best numbers. So for the people that say, oh, yo, why are you talking about them? And you just talk about Clarissa. Nah, I've been talking about Clarissa Shields since day one on my channel. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Can any boxing content creator outside of the channel that I mentioned, let me know. Give me a second. I got you right here. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me see. Anybody can anybody in YouTube outside of the channels that I mentioned show me and give me the link when you went live and talk about this? What's the year? 6 years ago. Clarissa Shields versus who? Ivana. Did anybody go live? Look at my son. My son is in college now. My cousin was my son. How many people on YouTube was doing a live commentary to Clarissa Shields versus Ivana? Anybody? Anybody took time? Any YouTube boxing channel took time on a Saturday to do a live commentary of Clarissa Shields versus Ivana? Or the lead up to the fight? No. Hold on. How about this? Clarissa Shields versus The Care, the first pay-per-view event. Put it this way. What was this event at? Who was distributing this event? Say it quick. I'm gonna give y'all 15 seconds because I know you're gonna Google who distributed this event. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Fight. FITE, the Fight app. Has anyone has a subscription to the Fight app? Y'all forgot about the Fight app, huh? Strong, good looking out. Appreciate you. New subscriber, like your commentary. I appreciate that. Shout out to the news, to the new fams, to the new relatives of Punch Run Boxing. Anybody could show me a receipt. Any Clarissa Shields. Captain Save a Hose. Cause show me your receipt of buying the pay-per-view of Clarissa Shields versus The Care. Anyone? I'm talking about the people that just come and be like, yo, Punch, stop talking. You don't support the GOAT, and the GOAT is this, and the GOAT is that, and you should know this, and now you should support the GOAT. Anybody got a receipt out there? I'll show you my receipt. I'm just talking about those that like to go against the grain and be like, yo, Punch, you gotta understand that Clarissa is this and Clarissa. Now you're not a Clarissa Shield fan. Get out of my face. Thank you, Ron. Thank you. Punch is the receipt king. Yes. Hold on. Shit. Oh, let me see. 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 Give me a shot. Let me see. Clarissa Shields versus Brittany. WBC Juneteenth celebration. Ladies and gentlemen, in the YTBC, who is pushing for Juneteenth? A lot of people be like, hey, yo, man, yo, pro-black. Ask Mauricio Suleiman, because I got the receipts also. When I was pushing for Juneteenth, I wanted Juneteenth to be another Cinco de Mayo, right? And Rapstar Boxing Knowledge was interviewing Mauricio Suleiman on the WBC, and I said, would y'all make a Juneteenth like a Cinco de Mayo? He said, thank you. You're the first one to talk to ask us this, and I will go back to my team and we could establish that date. He said, you was the first one to have mentioned it to me. Mauricio Suleiman. Go to the first Rapstar Boxing Knowledge, the WBC, Mauricio Suleiman interview. There's a receipt. Let me know if I'm lying. So I'm the first to push Juneteenth in this community for the powers that be to establish it as a Cinco de Mayo. And I was saying, yo, a black fighter should adopt that date. Y'all remember that? Oh, it was a while ago. That shit was 2020. It's been 6 years. That was 2020 when I was talking to when I said that to Mauricio Suleiman. Or 2019. I think it was 2020 though. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm gonna bring some receipts, ladies and gentlemen. I'm bringing some receipts because I want to know when people be like, "Yo, but you don't. Why you talking about?" Man, we've been talking about Clarissa Shields all the time, and in the beginning it was all praise. Who switched up? She switched. She let me see. Hold on. It's the date. 7 years ago. 7 years ago. This is me, ladies and gentlemen. What did I say? I've been talking about this since when? What I said, in the face of women boxing, Clarissa Shields can't deliver spectacular knockouts. Women boxing will continue to plummet. Clarissa Shields' no KO won't attract fans to women boxing. I've been stressing this for Clarissa Shields to get knockouts. Man, I got some. Look at this. Look at right here. When your boy was talking about Shadasia, hold on. What year are we on, ladies and gentlemen? What year are we on? 2026? Oh, yo, White Punch, you talking about Clarissa Shields and Shadasia Green. You just saying this because it's the algorithm. You just saying this because it's the algorithm. Matthew. What's this? What is this? Shadeja Green. What is this? What year? Ladies and gentlemen, what year I've been talking about Shadeja Green, Clarissa Shields? What year? What year are we on? Oh, you think this thing started right now? No. I put in work talking about this. I put in work. 2022 ain't no High 97, ain't no Breakfast Club, ain't nobody talking about Shadeja Green and Clarissa Shields, but Punch on Boxing. So don't tell me to stop talking about something that I've been talking about for 4 years. I've been on this. Y'all just catching up. I'm not talking about y'all in the chat. I'm talking about those that like to come to my channel all of a sudden and comment, why am I talking? You only talking about this Shadeja Green, Clarissa Shields because, you know, it's feeling the algorithm. I was talking about it when it was nothing about the algorithm. I was talking about it when nobody want me to talk about it. I was talking about it when the algorithm didn't want me to talk about it. Put it that way. I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen, I was talking about, hold on, Shadeja Green, Clarissa Shields, may say, look, 22. When the algorithm didn't want me to talk about it. Now the algorithm is like, hey, yo, Punch. Yeah, man, we're going to have to recommend this to other people because you've been talking about this matchup. Come on, man. Hold on. When I said that these other girls was going to outshine Clarissa Shields, when Clarissa Shields is being talked about, I said these other girls is going to outshine Clarissa Shields because the entertainment value, the performance. If Clarissa Shields was performing like the second coming to Mike Tyson and was knocking out girls, I don't think none of the girls was going to catch up to Clarissa Shields. But the other girls was getting knockouts, and the other girls was looking attractive in and out the ring. What I said here was the year. What is the year? What I said here, Clarissa Shields getting outshined. Clarissa Shields outshined by Amanda Serrano, Alicia Baumgartner. What year? What year? This is not now, ladies and gentlemen. You just in the right place. You're finally in the right place. I'm highly qualified to talk about this. This is the reason why Clarissa Shields won't come to Punch One Boxing, because I've been talking about this since day one. This is before Alicia Baumgartner beating the likes of Terry Harper. Nah. See? The people that's talking about it now, and shout out to everybody got their content, everybody got their platform. The reason why people are talking about it now is because the algorithm is working for the content. But I've been talking about it when the algorithm and when people want to talk about women boxing outside of me and outside of Ring IQ. That's it. That is it. And everybody in this community knows it. Now we got channels outside of the sport of boxing. Clarissa, Shadeja, Alicia Baumgartner, and this we've been talking about. I've been talking about this since this ain't started right now. Hold on. Hold on. Punch One Boxing. Clarissa Shields, women in 1 year doing what many been asking the men to do forever. Smash that like. Smash that like. Alicia Baumgartner wins. How many channels was talking about this? How many channels was talking about this? Where was my prediction anyway? Let me show you my prediction. Let me show you my prediction. Hold on. Now that's the postponement due to the no. Where's my prediction? Because I made the prediction video. Let me see. Drunk boxing is the hardest week. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have two fighters. Make all four of these ladies and everybody in the car work their tail off for this moment, and then right on the last minute, weigh in when you cut in, and then you get to America. I don't know if they're gonna stay over there. That's a month already. Then it'll come as 100% as they what. This is when the queen. This is when the queen died of England. That they had to postpone the fight. I did a video. I want to make the prediction. Yeah. Clarissa Shield record breaking night, January 10th. What year? Lou, he said, yo, Punch Drunk Boxing got more receipts than Walmart. Yeah. Because we've been talking about this. This ain't new. You know what I'm saying? We've been supporting. We've been supporting. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Hold on. Give me a second. What up? Breaking news. Michaela Mayer versus Alicia Baumgartner, late summer. Oh, yo, that's a big fight, y'all. That's a big fight for the sport of boxing. And, of course, women boxing. Just piggybacking off the Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor. Shit, man. It's not as historic, but I'm telling you like this. This fight and the promo that these girls gonna cut, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. They ain't gonna keep it too nice like Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano did. My daughter crying. Crazy. Yo, I'm looking at a bunch of videos, man. But anyway, good looking out for those that time, man. We talking strictly boxing, right? People like the drama, though. People like the drama, man. The algorithm says, yo, Punch, you got to talk about outside of the sport of boxing. So I say this for the people, for the hardcore boxing fans, for the hardcore boxing people in this community. Boxing is going, YouTube is recommending, or people are into things that's not strictly boxing. The hardcore boxing fans collectively is not pushing the envelope over here. You know what I'm saying? And the content creators are wants to get reciprocated. What is it? The boxing. Yo, when you create content, you just want to. The reciprocation is attention, engagement, comments, views, donations, support, all of that. And lately, when we talk about strictly boxing, it's boring because it's not engaging. It's not. Tú sabes, no mucha gente. No, it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun like it used to be. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, tomorrow we back at it. Let's see what's a matter of fact. Let me see what's anything new. Anything new on the table. Let me see if there's any breaking news on Twitter before we go. My brother, what's good? The hangout was good, Johnny. Let me see if there's anything new. Ain't nothing new, man. Anything boring, man. We like the. Matter of fact, I like that the women is getting their shine right now. I like that the women are getting shine. People are paying attention to the women, and guess what? The YouTube is recommending the women boxing talk. Drop the IBF. Yeah, we already spoke about that. I think there's a good move for Richardson Hitchins to move to a lucrative division where everybody else is at. You know what I'm saying? He could get a fight with Conor Ben. He could get a fight with Teofimo Lopez. You know what I'm saying? So he got options. He got option with Sufa. You know? Keith Connolly got 2 major fights for Richardson Hitchins. And so I think Tio was in the right place manager-wise. He could cut a deal. And say, you know what? We're not going to sign for Sufa yet. Let me get this Ryan Garcia fight. If I sign with Sufa, I can't get this Ryan Garcia. So let me get this. I think maybe a lot of people, there's people out there that's talking about should Devin Haney sign with Sufa. I think the way that the Haney's been moving, I think they will be moving backwards if they do sign with Sufa. You know what I'm saying? Because the way they've been locking deals, well, if they sign a 1 to 2 fight deal, like a Conor Ben fight, signed a 1 fight deal. So I can see Devin Haney. Devin Haney been working with everybody. Why not work with Sufa as well? And we can see they throw the money when they want to. They're not cheap as well. So, but I think that the only way they're gonna get paid if there is a great matchup. I'm not gonna doubt Bill Haney to making these fights, making these business decisions. Bill Haney has locked deals with Showtime, with Golden Boy Promotions, with Top Rank, with Matchroom Boxing, with Turkey Out Shake. So I know that Devin Haney, he's in the gym right now. While Devin Haney's in the gym, Bill Haney's is doing. He's gonna lock in a big deal for Devin Haney. I'm not even gonna debate that. He's gonna lock in a good deal. Ryan Garcia still will go to the promotion. He's the cash cow alongside with Conor Ben. He got his deal. Let's see what Teofimo Lopez is going to be doing next. I think that he's already in position. I think he got great options on the table. Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, or Sufa, Conor Ben, or Richardson Hitchins. I just don't want to see any fights that is not within the names. They at the point where they can make so much money. 3 fights and they can live happily ever after. Right now, just make the big fights and get the money, and y'all can retire. And these guys could retire in 5 fights. Just fight each other. 4 fights each and fight each other, and y'all good. Couple of rematches if it's good fights. You know what I'm saying? I even think that somebody got to sell Subriel Matias sign with Sufa. Go to 147. You could probably get a fight. And it still make money just a match. Even Subriel Matias could still, even if he got knocked down in his last fight, he could get a Subriel Matias versus Richardson Hitchins in Brooklyn. I just don't know if the Puerto Ricans really rock with Subriel Matias like that. I don't even think that they rock. I think they rock with Edgar Berlanga more than Subriel. So yeah, I'm gonna time out. Tomorrow we back at it, ladies and gentlemen. We back at it. Love y'all. God bless. And on to the next.